a new film titled Thando is coming to your screen soon. One of the people behind this project is director and producer Kagiso Modupe. It's going to come out in early April. It deals with some very serious issues in this country. We've been covering, at least here on Newzroom Afrika, for quite a while now, issues to do with teenage depression and the number of teenagers who end their own lives. The likes of the South African Depression and Anxiety Group have said that this is an issue that parents and society more broadly have to look into. Critics now, talking about the film itself, believe it's an accurate enough depiction of the situation that many of these teenagers are dealing with, especially on the subject matter of mental health. Kagiso Modupe and executive producer on the film, Rashaka Muofhe, are joining me now to talk more about the project. Gentlemen, good evening, welcome. Kagiso, let's start with you.
Thank you.
And why you've chosen to go with this subject matter in particular.
Look, it's our signature as Bakwena Productions, you know. When we go for films, we go for films that will create conversations after that, you know. You don't just go and watch it and then that's the end. So this has been a slow growing pandemic. And we hear about it, it's teenage suicide, it's depression, and, you know, one celebrity then commits suicide and then, you know, it's a big thing on social media, and then after that, people forget about it. But it's still eating away at our society.
And Rashaka, I mean, when you look at the subject itself, mental health, teenagers ending their own lives, that's not an easy subject to tackle. How do you begin to do that in a way that is sensitive for both the younger and older audiences?
Yeah, I think what's essential, this is nothing new to the country. We have been dealing with issues of mental health, issues of teenage pregnancy, issues of blessers, issues of guys getting older, thinking they can take advantage of our youth. And I think eventually now we said, let's do a movie that is about to educate. And it's coming out on 8th April. It's about to educate the community as a whole, the society as a whole, to say that in essence, we need to grapple on this topic. We need to tackle it. And to tackle it, you need to watch the movie. Watch the movie and say, get an understanding of what are our kids going through. When you are sitting in a room, and your kid is next door, and she tells you she's watching TikTok, you need to understand that what is actually going on. If she's in there for 3 hours, deal with the issue. So that's what the movie aims to tackle. We want to deal with this issue. We want to bring hope to say that, listen, we've been quiet about this for many years, you know, and it's time now that we actually tackle it and watch the movie and then get into it, and then let's get an understanding and let's tackle all the issues.
We're playing the trailers, or at least visuals from the trailer itself. I don't know if we're able to just take it in full and then pick up the conversation after that. Let's listen.
Just like everyone who makes a deal with the devil, there is always a price to pay.
What are you doing as a school to prevent bullying?
It's to take it upon ourselves to conduct an internal investigation.
That is the trailer for Thando.
Yeah.
When you look at it, I mean,
can't get over it.
You're beaming with pride.
Yeah.
Now, what was the aim, the intention, ultimately, that you wanted people to walk away with after watching Thando?
To create conversations. You know, there's a lot of single parents out there who don't know how to start conversations with their kids. You know, even parents, you know, who are still together, they don't know how to start conversations with it. And that's what we are trying to get out of this. It's a conversation starter. And hence what Rashaka was saying, that, I mean, imagine when you are in the living room and you don't know that your child in the bedroom is contemplating on taking their own lives. This is what this film is about.
And it's set in the township. Key, of course, because many of us who grew up in townships did not have conversations about people ending their lives, someone being depressed and needing to go sometimes to a facility. So I would imagine that even in the language, that would be part of making it accessible as a conversation starter.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the curriculum now. In schools, you know, next term they'll be talking about bullying, they'll be talking about teenage suicide. So you can tell, Guti, this thing has been something that's really serious, and now, you know, it's been included into the curriculum of the school, whether it's Kulelekasi or not, but it's part of the curriculum now.
And let's talk about that point. Rashaka also makes the point about how the school curriculum is also dealing with these issues. Is there a place for film to be introduced into the classroom as a means to learn about such a serious topic?
Definitely. And I think that's one of the issues. I mean, we've been talking to the various departments, especially the Department of Higher Education, to say let's focus on film, not just people learning how to use a camera, how to be behind the scenes. Let's focus on the stories that we tell, how we write the stories. Let's make them relate to what South Africa is going through now. Let's showcase South Africa and issues that are dealing with now. I mean, bullying is a big thing. We have an issue with bullying, not only just for teenagers, but also cyberbullying. Yeah. You've got an issue now where, you know, if you are in the limelight, you are out there, and it just happened now with the Rick, with Summers. It just happened now where people now pressure you and all stuff. How do we deal with it? How do we get the psychiatric education into the system? And we say, how do we play it out? And how do we play it out? Film is everybody watches movies, but we also need to start educating, and it changes the game. We're about changing the industry, and I think that's what's key.
We just went, and I don't want to mention the school. We just went to a school now, and we did a viewing there, and that school is in Ekurhuleni, and just in 4 months that the school has started, we have four learners who have taken their own lives. I mean.
And these are matric learners. This is somebody who was supposed to educate and get into the system. And then we have that issue now. And so we've got to deal with this issue now, because that's what kids are going through. And we want to showcase it. We want to say, not only showcase it, but also say, later, how do we educate our kids? And it's very important. And I think it's very important for adults, parents, somebody who's about to have a kid, to say that, hey, look, let's go and watch this movie. Let's get an understanding of what's going on in our society. And that's the whole point of this movie. Let's educate the society. And at the same time, more essentially, 8th of April. Let the people go out. It's coming out. It's a good movie. We've depicted it. The research that we've done on this movie is extensive. We've dealt with issues. We're not only just trying to make something look good. And also the cast and the crew that we worked with. They understood the issue. So we didn't just go and say, listen, lights, camera, action. No. You know, we researched. Every individual there has a story to tell. And it was depicted,
corporate must come out, right? You know?
Just on that point, I want to ask you about the point you're making about corporate. Often when entertainment or films are funded in this country, the money goes towards the quote-unquote sexy stories, stories about crime, a comedy, and the rest of it. How difficult was it to get financial backing for this one?
Look, it was difficult. It will always be difficult because, you know, people are looking for the sensational stories and stuff, you know, things that trend. But it's time that, you know, good stories that educate, start trending, you know, and I mean, with the support of corporate companies like Canon, you know, who came out and be like, okay, then how do we support you guys make this dream come true? You know, you've got your GFC who will say, okay, guys, then how do we support you in having to open different doors for you? But financially, you know, you still find that as producers,
it's a bit difficult.
We still,
I remember growing up,
our own money.
We had educational theatre where actors would come, many of them on television now, would come to our schools and tackle issues that we were dealing with. And I suppose, as you're saying, with the world changing, more young people now on their cell phones, on an iPad, as I am tonight, then we do need to turn to the likes of film to tackle these issues.
Exactly.
I think it's also essential just to mention also, I mean, the Gauteng Department of Sports, Arts and Culture has been very brilliant, especially in this journey, because that's the issues that they want to tackle. You know, so these are the issues I want to tackle, and then that's why we worked also in conjunction with them. And yes, from a funding perspective, it's way independent. So we still had to do this out of our own pockets. But not only out of our own pockets, we tackle the issues that the country is dealing with. And that's how we're garnering support. So at least the next time we do our next projects, we know the support. And these are the type of stories that we tell. This is our signature. We're not going to do a story. If you're looking for a Batman from us, you're not going to get it. No. But if you're looking for a South African story, you are getting it. And that's Thando.
Comes out 8th of April, lead is played by Zikhona Bali, right? And she herself was actually speaking, I think it was to Media 24, about her experience of being bullied as a dark-skinned young girl. And often we overlook, don't we, how we carry some of those traumas into our adult years.
I mean, being called umnyaman, it's something that people, you know, as growing up, it was uktegetisana. But actually how it affects you psychologically and even, you know, your self-esteem as an adult, we show those kind of things, you know.
Things like
Mansunyana. I mean, they go, hello, Mansunyana, and they make it sound nice. But the person who's been called Mansunyana, how does it affect them when they grow up?
Okay. Rashaka, how widely distributed will the film be? Where can we go to watch it?
All cinemas. At Metro, nationwide, at Stekineko, nationwide on the 8th of April. We urge everybody to go out and watch this. It's a brilliant movie. And I guess we might say so ourselves, but then we want the community actually to watch it. So
Cinemas are open now. Rashaka, thank you so much.
Corporate
To both of you.
Build up.
They must pledge. Take a kid to go and watch the movie at the cinema.
Take a girl child, take a boy child to go and watch the movie. Thando, 8th April.
See, clearly two marketing men. You've got that down, that part down. Thank you very much for your time, Kagiso and Moofhe. Rashaka Muofhe, that is, speaking to us about that new film, Thando. It hits cinemas on the 8th of April.